Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andre, and once again,
I'm here, Benoit, so...
hey, so this is BD Cosmos. It is a summer game night kit. This is game 2 of Andre versus Andre. On the left, we have Andre O. He's pretty new to Net. Well, he hasn't played Netrunner in a year in a public space, I think, so it's really exciting. First time he came out. And on the right is myself playing a Quetzal deck, which is a Faust-based deck.
Yeah, I think right now when you see Quetzal ID, you have to assume that it's going to be the Faust deck.
Yeah, Faust seems incredibly strong from my testing. I like it a lot. Not sure if it's going to replace my standard runner whenever I play competitively, but dang, it is fun.
Yeah, we talked about it with players from Gen Con because I was in Gen Con, and shout out to everyone that I met there. So we talked about it, and everyone thinks it's so strong, but no one's playing it as competitively because you didn't test it as much as your normal competitive decks. So yeah, for a summer kit, it's perfect though. It's
right.
So cool.
So do you think the people at FFG gave out the alt art swordsman based on the fact that they think Faust is going to be a big deal?
Maybe.
Is this conspiracy theories?
Swordsman is such a great splash right now.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
Good.
I like it. If I have an influence in almost all corp decks and I have nothing else to add, Swordsman goes in.
Just in case.
Yeah. That alt art is actually relatively nice. If you haven't noticed, that's a Darwin in the back getting the sword.
So cool.
That's lovely. I really like that. So on the left, we have an HB Engineering the Future deck.
Okay.
Again, when you sit against HB, it's surprisingly, you don't have the strongest idea. There's a lot of variance in what they could be. Fast advance, non-fast advance, assets.
Grail Ice, maybe?
I haven't seen that in a while.
Oh,
but
that could be something.
Yeah.
Like you face check HB most of the time. If they have Grail Ice, oof.
Yeah, it's
rough. That might be rough.
Right? So it's going to be a standard start. Get some ice out. You get some money. You get some money from installing things. And I have a lousy hand at the beginning. I believe I misplayed this.
Yeah, but you did have to mulligan. I
did
saw
have to
you
mulligan,
yeah. So
I believe I actually misplayed this in a pretty bad way. I think I had what's it called? Liberated accounts in my hand, and I didn't credit and install it. I thought I would draw into a sure gamble, so I drew twice.
Okay.
And that's
or
really
a
going to slow
career
me
fair,
down.
I guess.
Yeah, or a career fair, which would be nice.
Yeah.
So now I'm holding a bunch of cutlery and a vamp, which is not at all relevant, and I'm down to 2 credits.
Interesting. So your Faust deck plays the cutlery. Not all Faust deck plays them. So
no,
we'll see.
I included 2 knifed as extra cards. I think this deck actually might have 49 cards or a larger amount, not the standard 45.
Interesting.
On the basis that you do run 2 Levi's and you want your cards as basically their economy, as long as you have good card draw. So I included 2 knifed, I believe, and maybe a wanton destruction, just because that's a fun thing to do.
All right, so one thing strategy-wise, if you're playing against Faust deck, they need to install a lot of cards.
Yeah.
They need Econ, they need Faust, they need card draw. So what you can actually do is rush agendas.
Yes.
Because if you start a remote, maybe with only 1 or 2 eyes, and not defend for, say, HQ or R&D, that might be good. I would leave R&D maybe open. Medium is still something, though, so it's pretty scary. But you might try for it. Because if you go into late game, Faust is so good.
That's where Faust succeeds.
Yeah.
So this is the point of the game, turn 2, where I decide to face check the generally harmless, besides Architect, HB Ice. And I hit a Data Pike, which that made my early start even worse. That ice, it's generally not played.
At the same time, 4 credit for the corp.
Yeah.
So it's only a spend 2 if you have to. And
that's a 2 credit 4. Swing. That's okay
if you
for
have
2
credits.
sub. Yeah, if I have 2 credits. But that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Now I had to credit just to come back up.
But at the same time, corp doesn't put a lot of pressure on scoring agendas. So.
Nope. So a remote is out. It's not being rezzed. I would assume if it's Adonis, he'd probably res it. So I'm not sure what that could be.
Unprotected with no ice? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
Eve, I wouldn't res and force the runner to go check Eve and not trash her because she's not resed. Yeah, that might be Eve.
Yeah, it might be worth it. So he's also playing a hard burst econ. He did play a restructure and a hedge fund. I luckily find that sure gamble I need and get liberated accounts. We have stabilized. I now have money on demand, which is great. I install the liberated and take 4 credits off of it. That kind of eases the burden of paying 6 credits right off the bat.
Yep.
So I'm always terrified of checking R&D ice against HB.
Architect.
Oh, God. I feel like
Never on the last click.
Oh,
That's
so
the
bad.
most important thing.
Yes.
Never on the last click, because if you check last click against
Free
HB
agenda.
anyways, it's so bad. But if they install the agenda, they gain 1 credit and also score it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I-
rough.
I might be crazy.
All right, Jackson. You
but
should have checked that
Yeah,
with 2
probably.
credit.
I,
Yep.
I would have trusted it.
Yep.
So I want to see the numbers. If the architect fires, the percentage chance of the corp when architect fires, because I think that number is above 50.
Oh yeah, because Architect's so good.
Wow.
Yeah, face checking R&D is always a pain against HB.
Right, so another remote comes out. Daily Cast gives me money. I am not that worried about money. And this deck doesn't need money for breakers. It needs money to install cards. I'm going to run that Jackson, and now we'll see if he wants to pump that. So first, Jackson, I want to trash it, obviously, because card draw is going to be a big
Of
deal.
course.
But as the corp, would you trash the Jackson? First Jackson?
I think
Maybe
it's a
not.
weird use of Jackson anyways. Like, if I'm going to use Jackson that early, it's mostly because I have overdrawn agendas
Right.
and I want to overdraw and use the Jackson right away. If not, I need at least 1 ice to be comfortable, just so the runner has to pay to access the Jackson.
Yeah. Protecting
So,
your Jackson is big.
Yeah.
So it looks like he is going to choose not to res that. I think he might actually have 6 points of agendas in hand.
Okay.
And he does draw an Ichi 2.0, which is a rough piece of ice to have to deal with. Even with, if you just want to go through Faust, that's a
Yeah.
lot of cards.
It's not that hard to get through if you have no programs installed. though.
That's true. You have
Only 1 click for the tag, which is
Oh,
a trace 1.
You have to double click through Ichi 2.
Ichi 2.0.
2.0.
Oh, I thought 1.0.
2.0 is a scary beast.
All right, so as most of the time I haven't watched the game before we commentate.
Right, so I'm going to play I've had worse, get that card draw rolling. I do have a Faust in hand. It looks like the E3 is going to go out, which is so good. With Quetzal, it's great.
With Faust, it's
With Faust, it's even better.
it's even better. Yeah.
But even against Bioroids, HB generally runs Bioroids.
Mm-hmm.
Clicking for 1 credit and 1 click through an Eli is incredibly
Eli
efficient.
for 1 click, 1 credit is great.
So Faust now comes out. Remotes aren't safe.
No, nothing's safe.
Nothing's
That's
safe
the problem.
anymore.
Yeah.
I now have to look for multi-access. That is the biggest thing I want
Yeah,
right now.
and draw, I guess, because it's
Yeah.
your econ. If you draw more, you can break everything. If you haven't played Faust, just build one, try it out against your
incredible.
friend. It's so fun. And you cannot see how powerful it is before you start running it and not having to pay anything to get through any servers. You just vamp and they're going to pay to res ice and you're going to pay with cards and still have the same amount of money as when you started the vamp.
The economy is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Breaking ice with cards, it also feels really fun in a really
Yeah,
goofy
not
way.
for the corp.
Oh,
though.
for the corp, it feels awful.
Yep.
But having that choice of which cards do I throw out is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's another resource you have to manage, not just credits, which is probably what you're used
So
to.
2 things you can do against Faust. As most court deck, play Caprice. So the Faust doesn't really work on your remotes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it.
Swordsman.
Swordsman, of
Swordsman's
course.
a big deal.
Swordsman's a big splash.
Yep. So that's a full inject. I see both of my Levi's. Probably don't have to hold on to both of them.
No.
One can get
Yep.
the bin. And I'm going to check that ice. And that's an Ichi 2.0.
All right.
Now, what you generally want to do with Faust, at least, is you want to play a draw card and then check some ice.
Yep.
Because now you have to get rid of cards. Mm-hmm. You notice I do have a David in hand, which is unfortunate. Maybe I should have installed that and then ran.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
It's still not that terrible because you can pay with credits.
Yeah.
As you already have your E3 on the table.
Oh, with cards, you mean, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
The E3 because you can
Right.
pay. It costs you 3 cards and 2 credit, which is not that bad.
Not too bad at all.
Not too bad.
So the Levi's
Yep.
useless.
Another
that's gonna
E3
go.
useless.
One more E3.
So you
that's
play
safe.
2 E3s
Yeah.
in your deck? Cool.
Yeah, it's a good thing
All
to
right.
find.
Yep.
And a knife seems useless enough. And 2 credits. And
Yep.
let's see what's in there. There is an upgrade. I'm expecting an Ash.
If there was a Caprice, he had to res it before you break. So
Right.
he had to declare it before.
So luckily that isn't a thing. I haven't seen any influence yet. Just Jackson. So I have
True.
no idea. Caprice
Yeah.
could be a thing.
Might be anything.
Yeah. So we'll see what's good. He's
Alright,
deciding.
wait.
It looks like it is an Ash. So we played a trace game, and financially, I am in a comfortable spot.
Yeah, I think so. How much is he gonna just let it fire for 4? So you have to pay 4?
I think
Because you have to pay 4 and then
Yeah.
you want to trash it. So it's gonna cost you 7 for his 2 credit.
Well,
Not that bad.
I have some hidden information that he does not have. I have a David in hand, so
Yep.
running back into the server is only going to cost me not that much. So
True.
he's going to go full in. That's 10. I'm
Alright.
just going to trash that.
And you
Ash.
have clicks remaining.
Yeah. You notice also
Play David.
that he did some math there. So I'm thinking NAPD.
Yep. But NAPD on advance, you
Yeah.
still had one turn to get in.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It is NAPD.
NAPD.
And at this point, sunk cost fallacy hits me
just pay for.
like a train. Got to pay for.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Because
so-
he's at 5, you're at 1, and your econ is so much stronger than
Right.
his.
And you have the liberated
Yep,
hanging out
already
there.
4.
So that's really good. Another card going to go in that server. If that's an agenda, that's a really good play, I think. He's
Take your money from Liberated and go again.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Do you think that the runner will do that twice in a row just to
Yeah.
make sure?
I would check.
I'm not. I don't know if I
Ooh.
would.
That's why Netrunner is interesting,
Yeah.
because players can play differently,
Completely
which is
differently.
perfect.
Yeah. So David is out, so that ice is relatively useless. And basically all ices now is fast. This is
Because
good.
you could take your 4, play a sure gamble, and then go again. So as the corp, I'm stressed.
So it looks like I need more run resources.
There you go, sure gamble.
Oh, the medium goes. That's really
Same thing for
unfortunate.
Parasite, yeah.
Parasite's not that big of a deal, but medium. I think there's 2 in the deck. That's all my multi-axis. That's a real shame. I'm not sure if I'm running Deja Vu or any way to get it back. That's a card you really want. Inject, you fail me. But that's a lot of cards, and now I need cards. I mean, now I need to get rid of cards, I think. I might want to run. Oh, no.
We'll see. So you gain more money.
More money.
And okay.
Hey,
So daily business show.
That's a much improved draw.
Yeah, pretty good for corp right now.
So it looks like he draws peak efficiency and another daily business show, and that's going to get shuffled on the bottom.
Okay.
There is that unchecked the asset.
Asset or upgrade or agenda.
Or agenda, yes.
Faust on the board, just install an agenda naked.
Oh,
He's
that's
not
a
going to
good idea.
think it's
It's the perfect play.
perfect play.
I like that a lot.
Accelerated beta test. Naked. Just go
Yeah.
for it.
So we'll see what happens. I think I'm at the point where I will see if that architect is lying in wait. That will be half of his credit pool if he wants to get that up, and it's not going to fire. due to
And
Faust.
if you draw 1 Deja Vu, you can get your medium and your parasite, which
I
would
don't
be
think I'm
big.
running
So
Deja Vu.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think 3 Levi's or 2
Yeah,
Levi's
because
is
you
enough.
remove them probably for the cutlery.
Yep.
That's why.
So that's 5 draw on the quality
cards.
time. He does install another remote, so I think I'm going to quality time on the basis that I'll have to check what that is.
Okay. That card was there last turn, though.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, I'm not going to check that. I'm running HQ. So,
All right. No multi-access, just 1 card.
yeah.
As the corp,
Well-
I'll let you access, unless I have 3 agendas in hand.
I know
I'll
he has
go for
agendas
it,
in
so.
hand, but he hasn't played any agendas. He's played 1 agenda and drawn a lot of
Yep,
cards.
yep.
So I'm thinking they're probably in there. I drew cards that I need to get rid of, so breaking costs almost nothing.
All right, so you see Reclamation Order, which
All
is
right.
not that useful for him right now.
Well, he does have, I think, all the hedge funds and restructures in the bin. Oh,
More money?
Yeah. Well, I install Daily Cast and Wildside, but in actuality, I install Adjusted Chronotype by accident.
All right.
That he
Oh,
was confused.
there you go.
I do fix that. Yeah.
All right.
The other way, it was very useless. So that combo is going to come up next turn, probably.
It's only useful if you run Enigma.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Not too bad. People forget about that, I think.
know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
So if you lose the click through Enigma,
Too
you
bad.
don't lose the click because
Yeah.
you have adjusted chronotype.
Hourglass 2 in a less powerful way. But
Yeah, definitely less powerful.
Yeah, troll. I
All
don't know.
right.
So now he's in an interesting situation. He's just going to install, take some money, because he knows I can hammer an
Oh,
R&D.
it's so rough.
Oh, God,
Playing
it's
against
bad.
Faust.
Yeah.
It's so rough. Because like you said, he can access his restructure and edge fund, but it's not helping him in any ways.
Yep. He does install, I believe that's a Chrysium grid.
So-
Not entirely useful. He did see a vamp, though, so maybe he's worried
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
All Faust plays them for
Yeah.
sure. That's something. So one thing that is interesting if you're playing against Faust, at some point the deck is gonna run out. Most of the time, twice. So
Yeah.
you also you have actually a small scoring window when the deck is almost over.
Before the Levi?
Yep.
Okay.
Because the Faust has to play the Levi and then draw 5, so most of the time he's gonna play all his card and then do Levi at
Right.
the end of his turn. So you have the small scoring window just before,
Yeah.
but it's pretty small.
Yeah, it is tiny.
Yeah.
I think Swordsman is your best bet. It's a decent solution.
What about just splashing 1 mimic just against
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I run a mimic.
Okay.
Because otherwise you have no swordsman. Hey, you know that ABT, the blind ABT you talked about
Yeah,
earlier?
yeah, that was it.
That worked.
Perfect.
That's
nice.
very.
Also good to point out that once again I have not watched the game before.
That's true. I've seen this, by the way, obviously. So that did work. It's really effective. Just install that blank.
Yep.
I think he's gonna choose not to fire that. If I am correct, I might have missed that.
Not sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. Looks like it's my turn. Daily Cast comes out. I do have the entire draw engine of the Pancakes Wild Side, which is incredibly powerful, especially with Faust.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to make him res ice. Notice that I have no money, and yet I can still run.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is really cool.
And you can also not break the first subroutine on Data Pike, or does it end the run?
I think it ends a run.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it ends a run.
I haven't seen that ice in so many times.
I've only seen Inside Blue Sun, which is it's an annoying thing to face check continually.
You're right.
So yeah, it looks like I realized that 2 credits is going to be a problem, so I have to throw something out, and some of these things I want. Okay, inject. That's fine. I don't want to inject at this point because I need to find that medium.
Yeah, you really needed one medium.
Yeah. If medium was on the board right now, game would be entirely different.
Yeah,
It would
I think medium is your end game condition.
Yep.
He's not going to res because it doesn't matter. You have no card that have access HQ successful anything.
Right. So we get 1 random access, and that's
same thing. So you're checking,
order.
you're throwing your cards away to check 1 card from HQ. So you're confident that there are agendas.
There must be.
Mm-hmm.
He's drawn so many cards, and there's only been 2
and not forcing ice
played.
on R&D.
Yeah.
Just blind check R&D.
Yeah, I probably should.
But you really want that medium to have all efficiency in your R&D
I think that's the problem.
runs.
I get hung up on these efficiency things where I think, man, I'm only going to do this once I get the parts. But you see, he has 5 points in hand. I think that is a fragment and another 2-pointer.
Maybe. And there's no way he's covering that on remotes unless he draws into a Caprice.
That's impossible,
Yeah.
So he might actually, Andre might be missing DBS once or twice this game. I don't think he regularly plays with the card, and that's mandatory draw and not thinking about it is a very easy action to forget.
Yeah.
So you want to pay attention to that one. Looks like there's going to be another piece of ice. You get a credit for that because good old E.T.F. and something's going to go behind it. Do you face check? Of course you face check. You always face check.
Yeah,
Yes,
why not?
You have to.
Mm-hmm. Might be an agenda. Might be just probably Adonis at that point.
Yeah. So you saw one Adonis did go on the bottom.
Yeah,
of the
I saw
deck.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw something interesting this game is that I don't think Andre has a full set of those slightly ugly alternate art Adonises. I think he only has 2.
Okay.
Which actually is a benefit to the runner.
Yeah.
Say you have 2 in hand and you access 1 and then you
Yeah.
access the other. You can
As
tell.
the runner, I play one Data Soccer that's alternate art.
But runner, I
But
don't think
as
is
the
that big of a
corp, yeah.
difference.
But as the corp, I would never play only 1 out of 3 or 2.
So I check Toll Booth, which is all of the credits, and there is an ABT behind it. I think Andre forgot that I had a David.
Maybe.
He probably did.
But you can still throw your cards away. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but it becomes a lot harder. But now he has no money, so this is the free R&D access that's going to happen. No medium yet. That's a shame. And another Crisium grid, that's going to stay there.
Okay.
Yeah, what have you. And this is the mid to late game that that Quetzal Faust has.
Yeah.
Which is money per turn, cards per turn.
Of
break
course.
them for free.
Yeah,
It's
Once you're
incredible.
set up. Like the worst card I've played against as the Faust deck is Housekeeping. Housekeeping is so rough.
Yeah.
Because you have so many cards to install before you can get the things running. So
Right.
stealing the first agenda, if you have to trash cards every time you install, is rough. It's pretty rough.
Housekeeping is actually really scary against so many runners.
Uh-huh.
Noise, God, it's awful. It's the worst.
Yep. Or resource econ, like
Yeah.
if you're playing Underworld Contacts or Data Foldings or
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah. You have to build. You have to play differently. You want to kind of install everything on one turn.
Yeah, but all those cards cost you money,
Yeah,
so
I
you
know.
need to get
It's
credits
really hard to-
before. It's pretty rough. It's really hard to play all your resource at once.
So E.T.F. can do this slightly efficient move in which, if they want money, they can just install an ice on archives.
Of course.
What have you.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put an enhanced login protocol. So he used all his money just to slow me down. So you have 2 options. And this actually might be a decent move because you can either get money to res the ice on R&D, which is not going to be that big of a problem with Faust, or actually slow me down with enhanced login protocol.
Yep.
Which is interesting. As much as he doesn't have money, that seems okay.
And you're not that rich. You only have 4, so
7.
Oh, you're at 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're more rich than enough.
So I'm going to run on that Jackson. I wanted to see what that is with no chance of ice being rezzed. And he's actually going to choose to pop that. And I think Andre's going to be shuffling in, if I'm not mistaken, Eventicon?
And probably a Jackson, because I think we saw one trash. So probably one Jackson for sure. And maybe more credit.
This is the thing with reclamation order. I don't know if I would shuffle in hedge funds. Because do you want all the hedge funds at one spot just for the maximum pullback?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But those go back in. If I was expecting that to be a Jackson, the better move is always run R&D, run Jackson, run R&D.
Yep.
And if the corp is smart or expects the Jackson to be trash, they'll pop it before you access R&D the first time.
Yeah, but it still forces you one click just to run it.
Two clicks with ELP.
Yeah, 2 clicks.
So I'm going to trash the Adonis just so I can have the opportunity to go back, I believe.
All right.
Or no, not even. I'm going to career fair out.
So you spend 2 clicks running the Jackson, and now you play one for R&D, and then carrier fair on your.
As much as possible with ELP, if you want to run as many times a turn if you choose to run that turn. So it might have been better to check R&D another time. I didn't see what he drew with Daily Business Show, so I can't know if that's.
But throwing cards away is always rough. Yeah. So if you're just running and
I was low,
2 cards
I could have used the money, so that's okay.
All right, so E.T.F is looking for probably
money. You need money to bring that ice up. It's the only way to slow me down.
Yep. And Caprice to score your agendas.
Yeah, I don't think he's running Caprice.
You can actually win by doing fast advance against Faust, which is something, because you're not playing Clot, obviously.
Yeah.
So fast advance might work. Might actually be the best strat against Faust.
Yeah. So still, I haven't seen much influence, and I haven't seen much. I haven't seen any fast advance tools. So no no Biotic Labor. I haven't seen no Shipment for Sansan and Efficiency Committee. So I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. He does have 2 credits. We'll see if that's enough to res something. I think the most you can do is probably bronze. Next bronze. That doesn't make a lot of sense in this deck. And I see that Dreaded Architect. So that's good. And that was 2 credits for the run, mind you. That's actually a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah, with medium. That hurts. I'm still looking for that medium. I got to find it. Yep. So I throw out the quality time. I think at this point my draw is sufficiently covered with the Wild Size Pancakes combo. So it's probably not the best use of 3 credits. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Gets you your medium faster.
Yeah, man, medium would be good.
Because you saw R&D a couple times for no cards and no credit or something.
Yeah.
Medium would have 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe a Deja Vu is worth it in this deck.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll see.
So my deck personally doesn't work knife or any spoon.
You don't I thought you were doing Wizard.
Yeah, I was doing Wizard until we figure out that Quetzal is way better.
Yeah, Quetzal's nice.
Yep.
Man, Quetzal's good. Quetzal's good, even just ability is great, especially against Wayland. Oh, that's lovely.
With E3 is so strong.
Yeah.
All right, so HB still looking for something.
Yeah, so he's going to throw something in that server, get a credit from that, maybe take 2 more credits.
Have 5, yeah. You're in vamp range, but he has the Chrism Grid, so 3 credit.
If he reses the Chrism Grid, it's as if he vamped himself.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And he's going to reclaim. What is he reclaiming?
Good question.
Single Adonis? Okay.
No.
So that's one Adonis that comes back.
Okay.
I think he wants to throw that out. Because now, if I want to run on that for 2 clicks, that's something. If I have to stop that. Because that's the most reasonable way for him to make money. I think I'm going to check that remote. I have to. That's an agenda.
All right, so beginning of turn, you draw, you take money, and you play medium.
We're on. We're live.
Yep.
So medium's going to run into that ice for 2 clicks. We're going to see 1 card. That is another Adonis, and I'm going to trash that.
And you're probably going to go again because you didn't res any ice, so it costs you no cards and no credits.
And so now I'm going to see 2 more cards. And this is where a very interesting discussion happens.
Yep.
Daily Business Show is not the best always with multi-access.
True.
With medium, it gets a lot weirder, I would say.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see 2 cards, and then he's going to take those 2 cards up.
Yeah, and you're going to see 3 new cards next
3 new cards instead of just 2.
Yep.
Right? That's the math. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, 2 was already big, but 3 is bigger. So same thing as using a click to draw a card that the runner already saw when you have multi-access. So I think that the biggest debate is there. So do you draw the card that the runner saw, or do you
Yeah.
just leave it there so they're less tempted to go again just to see one new card, which I think the second option would be better as the corp.
Right.
So you just leave one card and they're not going to go for one more card. With medium,
Yeah, I will. 2 cards, I'll do
yeah,
it.
medium
But
is
even just
different.
to get
but
medium tokens, I might go
Yeah.
for one more card.
Yeah, of course you will.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was maybe more talking about players that have RDIs.
Right.
Like when you have an R&D interface.
Oh,
maybe
with RDI, I
Yep.
would, yeah, with...
so you leave the card and they're not going to go for one turn.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. Also, well, the only, perhaps not only, but a positive thing with the corp is that if I do steal an agenda, they can break R&D lock for 1
Yep.
or 2 cards,
Mm-hmm.
which seems nice. But I'm going to run again. That'll be 3 card deep dig on R&D. He does seem to be in the have enough money to res something, and there is that architect. Architect is actually pretty annoying for Faust.
It costs you 2 cards and 1 credit.
Yeah, with E3.
Which is not that bad because you draw 2 cards every turn.
Right. But a large part of the game plan is just to parasite everything on R&D.
Yeah, true.
And Architect is really annoying on the fact that it is virtually indestructible. That's an Ash. That's
Alright,
going to
trash
get
that
the boot.
Ash.
And I'm not worried about Ash in the server as much as I want to just see another card.
Yeah, true.
So he spent most of his money, so now I can check that double
Yep.
server.
Even
he
a Caprice does nothing, so...
yeah, he won't be able to res anything, whether it's an Ash, a piece of ice, if it's a paper wall. Yeah, Quandary, I guess. But let's see what's in there. And it's an Adonis. That's probably going to stay because he can't res it.
And you don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
No,
had
I
3.
do.
Yeah.
And a Chrysium. That's
Oh.
a good bluff.
Crisium on remotes?
No, it does nothing, but I think it's
nothing.
a bluff.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
interesting.
Yeah, that's why you checked it, right?
Yeah, I had to check it because of that. That's really
Mhm.
cool. So DBS show is the daily business show is actually just helping on my dig at this point. I think I would want to install over that if possible.
And hopefully core players plays Cyber decks. Ooh.
Sorry?
Hopefully.
Oh
Cyber
yeah, whether
decks
you
would
play
be good
cyber decks.
against medium decks.
So that's the thing, which
Because
is
now you want to click 3 times just to get rid of the counters.
Yeah.
Or you're screwed, but you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And you can just re-access like 2 or 3 times.
So what I found really interesting of playing against Andre is that he had not played in the Montreal meta in a long time. So these meta calls like CVS is really important
Yeah.
or Plastic and all that was very different than what I expected. Reclamation Order isn't a card I've seen a lot.
You're right.
This was actually really exciting. Data Pike, on the other hand,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun to be surprised when playing Netrunner. It's totally, it's super fun. I like that. Looks like I'm gonna continue on that deep R&D
Yeah.
dig.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Are you scared of like snares or anything? Then
Nope.
just go.
And I'm going to throw out draw cards because I think I don't have many cards left in my stack. He does have the credits to res the next piece of ice. I'm hoping for a barrier. I haven't seen a barrier all game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Enigma.
Enigma costs you 1 card and 1 credit,
Yep.
or if it's your last click, doesn't cost
Doesn't cost you much.
only 1 card.
So I have a suspicion that he might have thrown out all his barriers.
Yeah, maybe.
Being scared of Quetzal. This is 4 cards. Nothing.
No agendas yet.
Man, I have dug 8, 9 cards.
Yeah,
See
maybe.
nothing.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
But he's gonna take 2 out for you.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that
That's
that daily business show.
So he can res that Adonis if he does want that slow money. Looks like I'm going to money up. Will I run another time?
Just for 1 more counter. I think the corpse is probably gonna clear viruses.
Yeah,
at that
I
point.
think he should. I think I got
So-
frustrated with my poor access and
Mhm.
then
Yep.
decided to check HQ. If you don't see the cards in R&D, they have to be somewhere else.
Yeah, HQ is a good plan.
And yeah, see if he'll spend money. If he spent money resing the ice,
Oh,
that's
you're
great.
pretty happy, yeah.
So I'm going to pay 1 and a card and credit for Data Bike. I decided I didn't need the Mimic. I wasn't going to run
Yeah,
into Swordsman.
okay.
Which is risky.
Now the
considering I haven't
interesting
seen
thing
before.
is, do you trash the Chrism grid for later on
No.
being able to vamp, or it doesn't really matter? If
I don't think it matters.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to win on R&D if I'm going to win.
Mhm.
So let's see some cards from the top. Hopefully that's an agenda. Ugh.
And it is.
Woof.
There you go. Good game.
Hey,
Wow.
That's 3 points. That's the swing I
Cool.
needed.
Yeah.
I'm glad I really checked HQ there at the end. There's another Jackson in there. Arguably, he could have shuffled back into...
Yeah, overdraw his
Alright.
agendas, but
Yeah.
at the same time with the medium out with 4 counters. Ugh.
It's yeah. You
All
don't want to see
right.
fresh cards. Well, hey, that was an exciting game. You see the power of Faust.
Yeah,
Faust
Faust.
medium is incredible.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to see with that daily business show. Whether or not you want to trash that is still an interesting question. I think with medium you might want
True.
to.
And also the timings of scoring agendas against Faust is interesting. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Perfect. Hey, well, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. We have more of this BD Cosmos summer kit coming up. Hey, thanks a lot. Bye.
All right, bye.
Ciao.